But right now, it gives me great pleasure to invite the Chair of Creative New Zealand, Alistair Carruthers, to officially open the 21st Century Arts Conference. Alistair's one of New Zealand's great thinkers about arts and culture, and he always comes with something thought-provoking and interesting. And I have to say, I always look forward to his opening remarks because they set the agenda and they start the conversation. Alistair.
Thank you, Jackie. No pressure. Kia ora, everyone. It is a great pleasure to see the largest gathering of our clan in, I think, this conference's history, and possibly in any of the experiences that we've had in the arts over the last 10 years. We have over 250 delegates. It's a great regret that we haven't been able to take more. Some people have wanted to come, and the venue simply won't allow us to have any more people here. So we're really going to think about that for next year, and I even see some people standing in the doorway. So this speaks to me of an incredibly rich and vibrant network that you all belong to and that you are feeding so very, very well at the moment. This theme of the conference is very specific. It is about deepening engagement with audiences and building lasting relationships. And in a sector that, for those of you who were here at our last conference, feels really only in some respects about 20 years young at the scale that it is, because of the very large number of companies and artists and audiences that have been built over the last 15 years in particular. We think that this idea of having lifelong engagement is something that we're all responsible for in the very near future. And of course it's especially relevant because you're going to receive shortly, if you haven't already looked at it online, the detailed findings from the research that we conduct every 3 years. It's Creative New Zealand's triennial, to go out and ask New Zealanders what they really think about the arts. And we do that independently and frankly with some trepidation, because each time we've run the survey we have felt that there were external forces that could have a pro-cyclical effect on the results. In the mid-noughties we had the slingshot effect of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which had so excited the country and the world about our creative possibilities. We also had an arts minister who was very, very high profile in leading as a government priority the arts. We're still very fortunate to have an arts minister so senior in cabinet who passionately believes in it. But more recently, the external events, of course, have been a lot more alarming for all of humanity, with economic crisis, social crisis, and more locally, the tragedies in Christchurch. But the results are very good, and they do show that New Zealand has one of the most highly valued sectors in the world, with deep engagement, a great sense of support for the arts, a belief that they should be supported locally and publicly with investment, and also one very clear warning sign, and I do want to lay down this wero for you, and that is that some New Zealanders, a material number, have dropped in their belief that the arts are for people like them. And at some level, the personal connection that individuals feel to the arts is not as strong as the general connection that they feel that the idea of the arts are great. And I don't know the answer to that, or why it is. I think there may be all sorts of reasons. It may be that the very choices that we have for entertainment are so broad. It may be that the pressures that people are feeling are so complex. It may be that we fell in love with rugby last year, as I did, or that we actually, as I am prone to do, as I've just confessed to Stephen, quite like playing Angry Birds at night, and that is also a deep connection that we have with the digital art form. I don't know the answer, but the challenge is very real, and that is one that we all do need to confront. So the speakers at this conference will concentrate on how they nurture and build audience connection, and that is our challenge for you. I do want to welcome in particular our international speakers and guests, and we have a large number of them. It's just wonderful that you come here. New Zealanders are always surprised when people actually come, but we hope that you have a wonderful experience here, and we do appreciate your insights. And I do want to extend a special warm welcome to our great friends from Christchurch. Their session, A Silver Lining, What Can We Learn from Christchurch, I think will be very powerful. So we have Jenny Harper from the Christchurch Art Gallery, Therese Arsenault, who leads the company that manages the Christchurch Symphony Orchestra, Trent Hiles from Gap Filler, a wonderful initiative that has been literally popping up all over the city, Steph Walker from the Christchurch Arts Festival, and Jeff Clark from the Court Theatre. I'd really urge you to tune into that. I think as individuals they have shown that while the Maslowian needs of everybody to have shelter and warmth are clearly still very real and present, the transcendent nature of the arts to create continuity, connection between people, and even some sense of redemption has been immensely powerful, and we just admire what you've done so very much. On the inside at Creative New Zealand, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on that we hope you will only notice in one simple way, and that is that towards the end of the year, our very conscientious staff will have even more time to spend with you and grappling with you on the ground with some of the challenges and opportunities in the arts. And that is because our long-awaited review of our governance structure is now at the stage of second reading of a new Arts Council Act. It will go to the whole of committee stages, we hope, sometime in August, and at 1 October, the slightly confusing structure that you might be aware of a single arts council overseeing the work of 3 statutorily appointed funding boards will actually disappear, and all of those duties will be collapsed into one single and very efficient unified board encompassing Māori, Pacific, general arts voices, and some people who are great at governance. And our minister tomorrow will, I imagine, speak more about that, but we are very, very excited by that development. It will free up not just time and energy, but also real cash resources that we can continue to invest back in you. So that's enough from me. The conference really should get underway, but I do want to thank everybody associated with making this conference happen, and my fellow governors and board members and staff at Creative New Zealand. You are just the most extraordinarily hard-working and dedicated people that I've ever had the privilege of working with. I know you care very deeply about the arts, and I do want to salute you. And to everybody in this room, I know that your motivations for the arts in New Zealand are deeply personal, they're very pure, they're very altruistic, and you are making an enormous difference to the sense of who we are as people and to all of the connections that we can create. I think you do stand for the art of what is possible, and the research that you're going to hear very shortly is very much the proof of the extraordinary work that you do. Have a fantastic couple of days. Thank you for coming, and please share with each other as much as you can.